I'm live. Thank you for joining me today. I have so many wigs, but this sit down, not getting any love. So I'm going to set up with some wig repair today. I'm going to try and do my best. A good view how to repair a wig. You can keep synthetic wigs. Hold on, I'm trying to. You can keep synthetic wigs a lot longer than some people think if you take proper care of it. Like with anything else, I guess. I do not know what to do with this thing right now. Because I want there, I guess. Okay, so first, the wig is not in great condition because I haven't been storing it properly. It is a lace front wig. I have done the glue. This is my third order of this wig because I get so many compliments from it. But it is hard if you use the glue method to wash it. Anyways, first, what I like to do with wigs is you can get wig detangler spray, or you can even use like a little bit of detangling cream. Kids detangling spray works. You always want to, some people, everybody has a different idea of what brush you want to use. I personally think the best way is to split the wig into a few sections. Having a clip like this might help, as well as some smaller clips. So here would be the smaller clips. Here's a bigger clip, depending on the knot size. And then make sure you have your hot comb. So this is a hot comb. These are great for wigs. Have that ready because that's going to help you a lot. I like to have a curling iron and a straightener as well. And one of these, I don't know, these are weird curlers. They make beautiful curls, and every single time I use them, I get burnt. So be careful. That's not on me. I'm just putting a warning out there. So, I've been meaning to sit down and do a wig haul, but then I figured some people might only want to like see a certain wig, so I'm breaking it up. Except on my Twitch, I'm not so much. So I'm going to go ahead and just start with this section here. So what I like to do is just kind of start combing from the bottom. And this wig is actually, this is a brush rather. I apologize. People are like, how can you be a hairstylist and not know the difference between a brush and a comb? Sorry. Sometimes people say the wrong words. So, anyways, I am brushing the hair. Everybody does this their own way, but you can definitely repair most decent wigs. I have a mannequin head somewhere, and that makes it a lot easier. Unfortunately, that somewhere is somewhere that I don't recall. So now I'm using my hot comb. I probably should actually get my straightener ready too. And I'm just kind of going over it lightly. The hot comb is much better for like the top or a very small, even smaller than this area. So what I'm going to do I'm just going to divide this using a clip. And this is the piece I'm going to work on right now. Well, where's my straightener? There it is. I think that's it. crimper and a straightener. Okay. So what the heck is going on there? Okay, great. So everything is now plugged in. And we are going to fix this wig. Okay. So while I have the straightener kind of warming up, and it warms up at a pretty fast speed, I'm brushing this on my lap. And okay. Then I'm going to take this piece that I've already brushed through and separate it from this piece, which I'm going to put heat through, because the hot comb, if you use it on a whole head of hair, it's going to take forever. And this I have on the highest heat. So this is synthetic hair. This is not real hair. And it's taking the highest heat of this hot comb pretty well. Okay, so this section, I'm going to comb one more time and just section it off again for later purposes. Man, did this thing get all tingly. It is not easy to store wigs. Unless you have I was thinking of turning my garage into like a art studio / where I record my videos, because yeah, like I said, it's just it's hard to stall them. I mean, and who wants to put up a million shelves with wigs? I've tried making, I'll show you, I have in the back, those hangers are with the original bags the wigs came in. And what I was doing was hot gluing them to the hanger and hanging them up, which I saw somebody do. Oh, come on. What did I put this on? Okay, so it's on, the power's on 220. Feels pretty warm. Let's see if it'll take this much hair. I think I'm going to need a little less hair. This is still too much, but you can feel the heat coming off of this one. What I really want to learn how to do is make my own wigs, because there's so many stores. I mean, what am I saying? Stores. There's so many salons that actually throw hair away, and they have so many different types of things you can buy to learn to make hair. And the more expensive, I'm not sure if the audience knows, if you guys are a long time wig users, but when you're buying a human hair wig, oftentimes the cheaper ones will be like from different donors, meaning different people. also meaning that the shafts of the hair are not all going to go in the same direction, because our hair grows obviously in this direction. But if you're collecting it either from the floor or from wherever, from multiple people, it's going to be in different directions. So this is straightening really nicely, taking the heat really well, especially like I mentioned for a synthetic wig. It used to be a curly-ish wig. Now it seems to be well, obviously I'm straightening it, so it's going to be straight. But I'm sure we can get the curls back in. So, hold on. Emergency. I'm dropping the hot combs. Okay, so look at this beautiful here, what we have here compared to the rest of the wig. So it is doing extremely well taking heat, and it is going back to looking like brand new pretty fast as well. Okay, I have this little strand here that I was working on. This brush needs to be cleaned. Okay, I don't like how that was combed. Probably because there's too much hair in this brush. So the beautiful thing about wigs is, and I don't know why I never thought of this, I guess people just sometimes didn't have the exposure to a lot of things back in the day. Like now that we have the internet, we see all the stuff we can buy. Not that I'm trying to be a minimalist, and at the same time I have a million wigs. Like the idea of being a minimalist seems beautiful because you don't have to clean, you can spend more money traveling. Stuff doesn't matter, adventures matter, but that's not always true because people really do judge you on how you look. So, and obviously how you carry yourself. So, it is important that you look good. Even if you just have one wig, you can style it different ways and make it look good. So, I don't know if you guys know the famous reggaeton artist Carol G. She had that notorious blue hair, and I was trying to figure out for the longest time if it was a wig or not. I have come to the conclusion I really think it's a wig. And the reason I think that is because she has dark hair, and to continue dyeing her hair that much, it would just be easier. I mean, she can get top-notch wigs. She can get the most expensive wigs. She can get them installed every day. And I did notice her hair's not always the same color blue. So I think that they're wigs. So my point is, use wigs. Don't ruin your hair. Sometimes once you ruin your hair, people used to tell me this, and biologically, it doesn't really make a ton of sense. But since there's been more research in the field of epigenetics, which is the effect of your environment on your genes, since there's been more research in that, which was at first just a theory, but has really proven to be true, yes, when you dye your hair, there is a chance that it will not be the same after. The technical term for virgin hair used to be, I'm not sure, because now I've seen it say different things. Now I see virgin hair saying that it's all like one way. The hair goes one way from one donor. But virgin hair is actually supposed to mean, because I did work it out. My first job was at a hair salon. Virgin hair, because when I first dyed my hair, they said you have virgin hair, meaning it had never been dyed ever. So once you do dye your hair, it does change a little bit. And so they kept saying, don't dye your virgin hair, don't dye your virgin hair. So that's what virgin hair used to be. Never dyed before, never processed before, never permed, nothing, not ever in your life. Not meaning, oh, just you cut it all off. No, you can't get virgin hair back after you dye it. There are chemicals in the process, and unless you use something like henna, so you want to keep that virgin hair as long as possible. It's much healthier, and in general, yeah, there's so much. It's so much easier with wigs, because what if you don't like the color? What if you want to go back on it? It's just so much easier to use the wigs. So I highly recommend, even if you have the strongest feeling that you really want this color hair, just please buy a wig first and wear it for a little bit. If you don't know how to wear a wig, like I said, there's tons of tutorials on here to make it look more on YouTube. Has tons of tutorials. There's tons of different ways to do it. I'm going to show you the extremely easy way to do it. Yeah, anyways, I just don't think that it's worth ruining your natural hair to dye a crazy color. Just get a wig. And a synthetic one at that. If you're a person that's concerned with human rights and factory workers, you never know if so it's like a double-edged sword, because sometimes people are kind of almost forced to cut off their hair, or I've heard of hair being stolen from people, whereas they go to a barbershop and next thing they know, the person, not a barbershop, a beauty shop, whatever, because some men have long hair, and the person, unbeknownst to them, they're making small talk, and just snip, they steal their hair. I've heard of that. But then I've also heard of women purposely growing their hair to get a decent amount of money and it helps to support their family. But the thing is, we never know where exactly our hair is coming from. It's very hard to know. With synthetic hair, you don't have any of those problems. Especially, look at this. This is on 220 degrees, this one says. So there's no burning. There's no sizzling. And, excuse me, the other great thing about synthetic hair is that it doesn't get affected by the weather. Any normal hair, any human hair is going to be affected by weather conditions. Some more than others. Some people will have stick straight hair no matter what, but the majority of people, if it's raining, their hair might get frizzy. Synthetic hair doesn't do that. As long as you're, brushing, it might get knotty depending on the quality of the synthetic hair. But as long as you're taking care of the wig like I'm doing right now, synthetic hair is not going to betray you on a day that the weather's rough. which is why I love synthetic wigs. But there's pluses and minuses. Like I said, I bought 3 of these. If it was a human hair wig, I doubt that I would have had to buy that many. But looking back, I actually never tried to straighten it like this because I just assumed it wouldn't take this much heat. And I'm really surprised at how much heat it's taking. And it is not damaging the wig at all. In fact, it looks really good, in my personal opinion. And I'm obsessed with this color. If you do get a wig, make sure you get yourself a hot comb. And if you want to start, like, they have kits called My First Wig, which are incredibly expensive. The wigs are beautiful. They're easy to use. But with My First Wig, it is human hair. And so once again, you do run into some of those problems. So it's not that I wouldn't recommend My First Wig, but if you want to try a wig for the first time, I would just go cheap. My own personal first wig was not a lace front, and it still looked really good. I got a lot of compliments. I didn't order it off Amazon. I went to this beauty supply shop by my work, and I really liked it. And then I started buying more wigs. But yeah, just because it doesn't have to be lace front. There's lots of wigs that are not and still look just as good. So it's all about kind of like making it your style. Some people trim their wigs. Some people say synthetic wigs look like they have too much hair, but then you have, the option when you order human hair wigs to get up to like 280 density, which means it's like 180 more. I don't think I'm saying this right, but instead of being like 100% density, it's 280, which is a lot. And that's because some people choose to pluck their hair in certain situations, like in certain areas, they feel it looks more natural, or some people just want that big hair look. But I only say Amazon's a great place to start. They have some great wigs. The first wig I bought on Amazon, it was gorgeous. Now, it was synthetic. It didn't stay gorgeous for a long time, but it was, I think, like $20, and I got so many compliments. So yeah, just because it's not a lace front or not real hair, it doesn't have to be. You don't have to spend. I've seen wigs like $1,000. I think I saw a $10,000 yesterday wig. You don't have to spend that much. In fact, don't spend that much. Like, just don't. There's no reason for it. So yeah, right now I'm just brushing the hair over here. And it even brushes out. So right now this is the straightened part. And I'm gonna get another clump that I'm gonna start trying to, the front is a mess. Okay, so this is how it's gonna go. This is how the wig goes. So I think I was kind of almost brushing in the wrong direction. Now, when you brush, always start from the bottom, because if this is for your own hair as well. If there's tangles and you start at the top, you're going to tangle the whole hair. So you want to start at the bottom. You start brushing at the bottom and work your way up. That way, if there's knots, you can find them. I really wish I had my mannequin head today. I do not know what I did with it. Okay, so right now I'm just dealing with one really I do have this detangler. But it's from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to use it because it's a pretty big tangle. If this doesn't work, I might have to cut it out, but like I said, this wig is pretty full, so I think even if I had to cut a little bit out to salvage it, it might not be the worst thing. I should probably switch over to a comb. That is a nail polish box. All right, with the brush, we're staying until I can figure out where I put my combs. So, I was organizing, and then sometimes you just get distracted. Yeah, so I'm the type of person that have working as a nurse really taught me, and just like things I've seen as a nurse. I volunteered in other countries as a nurse, but you can really learn a lot from the people you work with. I especially liked working. Well, I worked in an older people's home. I liked it from the aspect that I got to interact with a lady that was 104 years old. She wasn't always awake, she wasn't always with it. She had the best two sons. I would have married one of them in a second. They came 3 times a day to bring their mother a special nutritious shake. It was the sweetest thing I've ever seen. And I mean, I feel like values like that are really tearing apart our country because they're non existent. And it's not necessarily one person's fault because I think there's been a lot of propaganda against the family. But, just taking care of your family is a responsibility. People have taken, I think, one lesson I learned in life was from Jordan Peterson. And I know this is a hair channel, we're not supposed to get deep, but one big lesson I've learned is that happiness is not necessarily the goal of life. I would say that I believe, at least, we're here to grow. We're here to learn lessons. We're here to love each other, have amazing experiences, feel sadness, feel happiness, all of it. And happiness is not, if you're constantly happy, which is almost impossible because, no, I don't, when I say it's almost impossible, I mean a happiness, maybe like an overjoyed. It is possible to wake up every day and be thankful for the situation you're in and not be in a bad mood. But if you're expecting, I don't know, some type of happiness where you're just like your fifth birthday party type of happiness. That's not what life is about. It's about, caring for others, going through the stages of life, first being cared for as a child, then learning to love others, and learning to love and accept yourself. That's the biggest one, I would say, because a lot of people struggle with that. And for me, finding something that fulfills you. And oh God, this thing keeps falling. When I say something that's fulfilling, like this is fulfilling, I love doing this, but I do, like I mentioned, I do have another channel where I talk about psychological issues, and that when I did work with a larger population in the hospital was fulfilling. hospitals are no longer small, and they've put a lot of rules on doctors and nurses. And in fact, nurses are now getting blamed into lawsuits when it was like they're just looking to blame anyone but the CEO who, didn't staff properly. But that's besides the point. My point is, you want to, I think, for me is life is learning lessons and also passing those on to our loved ones, guiding people we love. No one can experience everything. So with the internet that we now have the ability to share what we've learned in our life, in our journey with other people. And that's an amazing power that we have. Some people do definitely have incredible channels where they share incredible stories. But that's not always what sells, what often sells is superficial. And superficial, though, is what is not going to make you happy. You're always going to need the next thing. You're always going to need the new look. Chasing money, superficial things is not going to bring happiness or joy. Well, at least sustained. When I was younger, I dated somebody who was twice my age. I found his intelligence very attractive, and he really didn't look his age, to me at least, or to most of my friends, because funny story, we had a birthday party for him, and they asked how old he was, and I thought he was going to be 43, and they were like, no, really, how old is he? And I was like, he's 43, guys, because we were in pre-med, and one of my friends was already in pharmacy school, and that can age you. So they kind of just assumed that he was the same age as us, maybe a little older. But he was a good-looking 43, or at least everybody, the eyes are in that. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But my point is, he had a lot of friends in wireless because cell phones were booming for a while, making the 3G network, the 4G network, the 5G network, kind of when Androids and versus the iPhones started taking place, that era. And a lot of people that he worked with were all divorced. None of them ever really seemed fulfilled. I mean, they liked their jobs, of course. People like the feeling of making something, of creating something, but you also need balance, which is, having love, a loving relationship. And today's society does not value that too much. They don't they value you stressing yourself out until you get a stroke. And you're kind of disposable. Society praises people for going to school for a long time, even when it might not pay off or it's completely unnecessary. It's like an unnecessary amount of education. People praise that type of things. And even for this channel, people, based on your looks, and this is another reason I made this channel. It took me a long time in life. I thought, okay, I have plenty of other attributes, right? I was never an ugly person, but I wasn't really making myself up. I didn't put a ton of effort into my looks. And I recall walking into the break room one day at my work, and many times people would say that I looked underdressed, or like I didn't look good enough, and that I was too nice. And then there was another girl, and I walked in when they were making fun of her. She was my friend, and they said, "Oh, so-and-so, she's so mean, she's so aggressive to the patients. And what does she think this is? A beauty pageant? And I actually called them out and I was like, you guys say that I come in and, my scrubs don't match or whatever, and that I'm too nice, but this other person is too pretty and looks like she's in a beauty pageant and is too mean. Like, what do you guys want from us? Because these weren't my bosses, they were just gossipers. So I'm sure that conversation was talked about once I left the room. But basically, it can feel like no matter what you do in society, sometimes you are never going to be perfect to some people, and that's fine. One thing, I don't believe in a lot of like these supposed privileges that people have had, but pretty privilege is a thing. Maybe not to the extent people make it, but I've definitely noticed when I look one way and go to a store and ask for help, that so if I go dressed up and look really nice and cute, people respond to me much different than if maybe I just didn't wear any makeup. I could wear maybe the same outfit, but well, not quite the outfit because people just tend to look at my boobs and not even my face. But people definitely treat you differently based on looks. And that took me a long time to grasp. Not that I didn't understand that, people like looks, but I thought we were mature enough as a society that we could say, oh, so and so is pretty, but that's their I don't know, talent, if you want to call it. And this person's smart. There's a lot of smart people that are not great looking. And when you're studying constantly, I actually got this looks talk from one of my teachers and I guess professor at my undergrad, and she said that I looked distracted. And this was most likely because I was working 4 jobs and, I didn't wear makeup, just kind of showed up for class. I wasn't trying to impress anybody. And I was kind of shocked coming from this particular woman because she had a saying that it was an oxymoron to be a biology major and be morbidly obese. But I'm sorry, be an oxymoron. It was an oxymoron to smoke and be a biology major. But then we would say, well, it's kind of an oxymoron to be morbidly obese and be the head of the biology department as well. I should probably erase that joke. But, she was very quick to call other people out when she wasn't quite perfect herself. But when I was refused letters of recommendation, not because of my grades, but because of my looks, that's when I really was like, damn, I really thought, especially in science, that they would judge. I mean, who wants a doctor that got by because she looks good versus... Would you rather have a doctor that's beautiful or that knows her stuff? So anyways, that was a big moment for me. I was like, well, I'm going to have to start looking a lot nicer. So that's what kind of inspired me. And around the same time as when some beauty blogs started coming up on YouTube, and they were very helpful. And I wore a little bit of makeup then, but it probably would have helped if I wore more because I looked young too, and I think the youngness threw people off. but I've gone off on a tangent. Here is my wig. Okay, so it's not perfect. It's not perfectly straight, but it's almost time for bed. And all right, so I'm going to take off this purple wig. And as you can see underneath, I have already placed the caps. And so this is a lace front. I'm not going to glue it today. Man, I'm really thirsty. And this is where the hot comb comes in. I love this color personally. Like and I got a lot of compliments when I go out in it. But now that my son's a little older, I just don't want to embarrass him. But I love this color. I think it's gorgeous. So I guess I didn't need to buy 3 of these because they left. And I don't know why I never tried to apply heat before buying the other ones. But sometimes wigs are things that I've liked to have gotten discontinued before. So one of the very first products I got was discontinued, and I was so bummed out. So I bought 3 of these beautiful wigs. I think it looks just, the part isn't huge. Like I said, it's kind of small actually, which is probably why the price point is a little lower. But I still think, even without glue, that it looks pretty, doesn't look too wiggy, so to speak. So right now I'm just combing down this area right here. I'm going to try a little bit more wig spray. I had this bottle of water here the whole time. I didn't know it. And then with wigs, what I probably should have done is instead of ordering another one, you can cut them if they're if the ends are too frizzy, or they have like thinning. They have brushes that thin out. They're not complete scissors or brushes. They have like little razor blades. It looks like a comb. I don't know if I have mine right now. Excuse me. Wouldn't this be perfect? No, I don't have it. But yeah. So, anyways, you can cut. I'm gonna try and just show you a little bit. So if you don't see face, sorry, I want you to see how the end of the wig is looking. Ooh, too much there. I don't know what you can see. Nothing. Oh, jeez. Okay. So right now we're, gosh. sometimes Five Below has awesome products and other times Five Below does not. Okay, so what I'm trying to focus on is the end of the wig right here. Trying to get that as flat as possible. I'm gonna first, so there's a few options. I'm gonna first do this. This doesn't show you the degrees, it just shows 3 little bulbs. And like I said, that's more for like the top up here to make this part look realistic. Sometimes a curling iron, is this one even on anymore? No. Oh, it was. So sometimes a curling iron actually can, and this is supposed to be a wavy wig, not a straight wig. So sometimes that can help. We'll try that. And then I'm going to keep going. So let's keep trying on this side to see if we can get any improvement in that frizziness. All right, let's see what we have here. I don't know if either one really helped too much. I could probably spend a lot more time straightening this, but overall, you can kind of get the idea. And with that, I'm gonna sign off, guys. I hope you had an enjoyable time watching me bring this wig back to life. And feel free to email me or I don't know how you message on here. Like, I don't know, can you message on YouTube? I'm assuming you can. Write a comment and I'll try to get back to, or I will get back to you. So thank you for watching and have a great night.